Stop everything right now and listen. Sit down, hear this. I am speaking to you, not to a crowd. I have been watching the way your chest tightens in rooms that used to feel like home, the way your thoughts push against walls that once felt like shelter. The place that protected you has become a ceiling. What was mercy in one season is limitation in this one. I gave you that shelter to save you from the storm. I did not design it to be your forever address. You have mistaken a refuge for a residence, and I am breaking that illusion now. Now, hear me clearly. The restlessness you feel is not moodiness. It is not impatience. It is a spiritual alarm I set inside your spirit to wake you before the roof caves in on the destiny I planted in you. You think you are tired of the people, the routines, the sameness. But you are not merely tired, you are hitting your head on a ceiling I never authorized to be permanent. Your growth is pressing outward. Your voice has outgrown the room. Your assignments are stacked at a door that does not open in this location. Do not delay. This is a window, not a wish. Timing matters. Windows do not apologize when they close. They simply move with the wind of my purpose. I am not threatening you. I am telling you what time it is. The cloud has shifted. The pillar of fire has advanced. If you linger where I once fed you, the manna will mold. Safety without assignment becomes stagnation, and stagnation will tax your calling until what should be effortless becomes exhausting. I need you to stop arguing with your own readiness. You are not losing your mind, you are shedding your skin. The room didn't get smaller, your capacity expanded. The familiar began to shrink the day your authority multiplied. That friendship, that job title, that neighborhood, that pattern you used to cope, they served you. Honor the shelter for what it was, but do not worship it as if it is what I am. I am the one who covered you, and I am the one who now calls you beyond the cover. If you can sense that this word found you on purpose, respond to it, not as a habit, as obedience. Press the light button as your declaration of readiness. Let heaven record that you did not scroll past your own summons. Let it be written that when I said, "Move," you answered, "I hear and I am willing." This is not about being dramatic. This is about being decisive. Your next level does not fit under this ceiling. The very environment that kept you safe is now capping what I am trying to release through you. Stand up from the cushion of comfort and prepare to relocate by faith. I am with you in the leaving, as surely as I was with you in the hiding. Now, hear me clearly. This is not motivation, not encouragement, not a random reading you stumbled upon because your day felt heavy. This is recognition. I am acknowledging your timeline the way a clockmaker hears a pendulum and knows it is ready to advance one notch. You are not confused. You are being recalibrated because your season has shifted. I have been tracking your breath at midnight and your sigh in the middle of familiar rooms that no longer fit. I am speaking to end the argument you have been having inside yourself. Am I unstable, or is something holy happening to me? Something holy is happening to you. I see the symptoms you tried to self-diagnose, the quiet dread that rises before you step into spaces that used to feel safe, the sudden irritability with small talk and shallow tasks because your depth is starved, the boredom with what once satisfied, foods, shows, conversations, even victories that now taste like yesterday's bread, the unexplained urgency that wakes you before dawn, the thump under your ribs, the calendar anxiety with no event attached, the feeling that you are late for an appointment you cannot name. I saw the day you stood in a well-loved room, eyes stinging, wondering why a place that held you now makes you feel held back. I am not offended by your questions. I authored the questions to alert your spirit. Nothing was random. Nothing was punishment. Nothing was wasted. The delay that embarrassed you, the detour that cost you time and energy, the conversation that exposed what you could no longer pretend about, the door that would not open no matter how politely you knocked. All of it functioned as calibration. I used pressure like a tuning fork against your soul to bring you into pitch with your next assignment. I allowed weights to build your endurance, not to break your back, but to prove your frame. When you thought you were losing opportunities, I was loosening attachments that could not travel where I am sending you. So hear this again. You are not unstable. You are outgrowing the container. That is why the edges scrape. That is why what once affirmed you now feels like a script you can no longer read without stumbling. You are bigger on the inside than the room you are in. Your spirit has learned a new key, and the old band keeps insisting you sing in the last one. The friction is not failure. It is evidence that the season has turned. Worthiness was never the issue. Readiness was, and you are ready. Mark this as your reframe. The pull you feel is not panic, it is propulsion. It is the current of my purpose moving beneath your feet, urging you to lift them. Breathe and say it out loud so your body believes it. I am being recalibrated. My season has shifted. I will not argue with timing that loves me. Let heaven record your agreement. And now, since I am the one who is pulling, I will answer the question you keep asking in the back of your mind. How will you know it's me and not fear pulling you to a new place? In the last season, you walked through 9 pressures designed with precision. Nothing was random. Nothing was punishment. Each pressure was an instrument I placed against your life to tune you to the frequency of your next assignment. Hear me. These were not attacks to stop you. They were training to qualify you for new territory. I was not testing your worth. I was proving your readiness. And because you endured, I now call you prepared. Pressure 1. Rejection. You felt doors close and faces turn. Applause that once drowned out doubt went silent. I did that to detach you from needing approval so you could stand without an audience. You learned to keep walking without clinging to compliments. You stopped negotiating your truth to keep proximity. You discovered my affirmation is a foundation, not a feeling. Pressure 2. Financial strain. When resources tightened, you thought I had abandoned you. I had not. I was teaching you stewardship and discernment. You stopped leaking energy and money into what did not bear fruit. You learned to track, to plan, to sow with wisdom instead of impulse, to call money what it is, a tool, not a trophy. Now you can carry increase without it carrying you. Pressure 3. Betrayal. You tasted the sharpness of disloyalty. I let you see that access is not loyalty, and charisma is not character. You forgave, yes, but you also installed boundaries. You learned to love people while protecting the gate. Not everyone who wants a seat gets a key. That lesson saved you from importing sabotage into your next season. Pressure 4. Isolation. I pulled you away, not to punish you, but to purify your voice. Without the noise, you stopped performing and started becoming. Silence exposed the scripts you were reciting to survive. In the solitude, you heard me call you by your real name. Your words grew weight because they were birthed in a quiet place. Pressure 5. Delay. Now hear me clearly. That delay was not denial. It was preparation. I trained your endurance, stretched your patience, and matured your pace so you would not sprint past what requires stamina. You learned to move at the speed of grace, not anxiety. Pressure 6. Repeated inconvenience. Small interruptions tested you. I watched you choose obedience in what looked insignificant, showing up on time, finishing what you started, honoring small commitments when no one was watching. Consistency became your superpower. You proved faithful in little. Now you can be trusted with much. Pressure 7. Mental warfare and overthinking. The swirl in your mind tried to steal your peace. You learned to treat peace as a discipline, not an accident. You built rituals of stillness, truth-talking, breath prayers, and reframing. You stopped letting fear narrate your future. You returned to peace on purpose, again and again. Pressure 8. Responsibility overload. You carried more than was yours and almost buckled. I let the weight expose where you said yes out of guilt, habit, or ego. You learned to sort what is assigned to you, what is for a team, what is mine alone. You practiced no without apology, and your yoke began to fit. Pressure 9. The temptation to settle. Offers came that were comfortable but costly to your calling. You recognized golden cages and turned them down. You refused almost. You told convenience, "You cannot purchase my future." That was the final proof. You will not sell destiny for relief. Now understand why I am saying move. These pressures upgraded you internally. The external must match. You are not who you were when you entered that room. Capacity has expanded, authority has increased, discernment has sharpened, and peace has been weaponized. The old place cannot hold the weight you now carry. Let heaven record it. You are ready, and readiness requires relocation. Why now? Because readiness has crossed its threshold. Because the inner beams I forged in you now outmuscle the frame of the house you're standing in. You feel it. How conversations that used to steady you can't hold the weight of what I've built inside your chest. How a workload that once stretched you now shrinks you. How doors that felt wide last year scrape your shoulders today. The season changes the moment interior strength exceeds exterior structure. That is where you are. Your new capacity is already cracking the plaster of your old location. Hear the hidden danger. If you stay, protection deteriorates into stagnation, and stagnation, left unchallenged, quietly becomes disobedience. Safety is sacred only when it serves assignment. When assignment advances and you do not, what was wise yesterday becomes disobedient today. I am not shaming you. I am diagnosing the hour. The manna that kept you alive will mold if you try to hoard it for a season. It was never meant to serve. Delay will begin charging interest from your calling, siphoning energy, joy, and clarity that belong to the next chapter. Mark this contrast in your spirit. You were preserved there, but you will be promoted somewhere else. I stationed you in that environment like an incubator, warm enough to protect, limited enough to keep you small while roots formed. The incubator is not a stage. You will not be crowned where you were kept. The applause you think you're missing is not delayed. It is reserved for the place that matches your rank. You have outgrown the shadows that once hid you for your own good. Beware the comfort trap. Familiar routines, familiar faces, familiar battles. These are the lullabies that sing pioneers to sleep. You keep praying for new results in old soil. You keep sowing revelation into ground that refuses to be tilled. You are watering concrete and calling it faith. I am not ignoring your prayers. I am relocating their harvest. The field that will respond to your seed is not under your feet. It is waiting where I am sending you. Now, hear me clearly. This is a narrow window, and procrastination has a price. These next 90 days will not look like the last 90 if you move when I say move. Momentum has already shifted. Conversations will align, resources will surface, necessary endings will finalize with less friction than you feared, but that ease is time-stamped. If you linger for permission from a place I have already released you from, you will feel the grace thin. Doors will still open, but they will grind instead of glide. The path will not vanish, but it will cost more strength than it needed to. You sense the urgency because your anointing is beginning to bulge against the borders. Rooms misinterpret your authority as attitude because the container is too small, not because your spirit is wrong. You are not hard to please. You are hard to confine. Let heaven record it. You are not late, but the hour is exact. Gather your courage. Bless what held you. Release what would now hold you back. Lift your feet. Move with me now. Now hear me clearly. The pull you feel is not random. When I draw you from one place to another, I do it in patterns you can recognize so that your heart has language for what your feet are about to do. When it is me, the pull repeats with clarity in three forms that begin to converge like three rivers joining one current: holy dissatisfaction, divine interruption, and aligned attraction. First, holy dissatisfaction. This is not grumpiness or ingratitude. This is the grace that makes false comfort feel heavy. What you once tolerated now scratches your spirit. Conversations that used to soothe you feel thin. Tasks you could perform with your eyes closed. Now ask your soul to close its eyes to do them, and you can't. The costume doesn't fit. The laugh sounds borrowed. You try to celebrate wins that taste like yesterday's bread, and your mouth fills with a quiet ache instead. Hear me. That ache is not failure. It is your new size protesting a small chair. I am unhooking you from what kept you docile so you will be free to move. Second, divine interruption. I close doors on purpose. I reorder calendars. I allow the email to arrive late so the right conversation can arrive on time. I let a plan that flattered your ego stall so an assignment that honors your calling can land. You will notice cancellations that free unexpected hours, collisions with truth you did not plan, a sentence in a meeting that exposes what you can no longer pretend about. These are not coincidences, these are corrections. I am not throwing you into chaos. I am removing detours you baptized as destiny so you can face forward. Third, aligned attraction. New ideas nudge your morning. A name keeps surfacing from different mouths. An opportunity returns 3 times, each time clearer, each time requiring courage but offering peace. You meet people who speak your future fluently without needing footnotes. Resources show up in the exact measure of your next obedient step, not to fund your fantasies, but to fuel your assignment. Doors don't just open, they swing on the hinges I fitted for you in the last season's training. Discern this difference. Fear pushes, I pull. Fear shoves you into hurry, fog, and fragmentation. My pull gathers you into clarity, even when it stretches you. Under fear, your mind scatters and your boundaries blur. Under my pull, your priorities sharpen, and your peace, though trembling, stands up straight. You will not have every detail. You will have enough light for the next faithful step. So test it. Ask yourself, is holy dissatisfaction telling the truth? Have divine interruptions been redirecting my steps? Is aligned attraction repeating with increasing clarity? When 2 or 3 of these converge, you are not guessing, you are guided. Let heaven record your agreement right now. Type 888. If you can feel the pull, this is your agreement with divine timing. Do it as an act of obedience, not habit. Mark it so your future self cannot pretend you did not hear me. I am pulling you and I will meet you in the move. Now hear me clearly. You do not need one dramatic sign. You need a pattern that converges into certainty. I will give you 7 confirmations. Count them. Do not stop at 3 because your fear is impatient. Completion sits at 7. When a majority of these rise at once, the question is answered. The move is real, and it is time. 1. Irrational peace when you picture leaving, and rising anxiety when you picture staying. Close your eyes. See yourself obeying. Notice how your breathing evens and your shoulders lower, even while details are undefined. Now see yourself forcing another year in the same chair. Feel the tightness in your chest, the impatience in your jaw, the fatigue before the day starts. Peace is not a theory, it is a witness. I place it like a bell inside you. It rings when you face the right direction. 2. Doors are closing where you are. quietly, steadily, without scandal. Invitations fade. Text threads go silent. Favor that once flowed begins to drip. Do not call it failure, call it guidance. I am removing what you keep excusing. I close gently so you can exit honorably. When maintenance becomes ministry in a place I have released you from, hear the latch click and bless it. 3. Repeated invitations from outside your current circle. New rooms call your name. New networks inquire about your availability. Assignments you never advertised find your inbox, your DM, your doorstep. The first time you think interesting. The second time you think coincidence. The third time you realize convergence. These are not accidents, these are escorts. 4. Your gifts are underused where you are. You are not bored because you are arrogant. You are under-challenged because you have been upgraded. You finish tasks that do not require your full mind, full heart, or full anointing, and you feel strangely empty. That hollowness is a holy alert. I did not expand you to have you folded back into busy work that flatters others but starves you. 5. Increasing friction with old patterns. Sleep rebels, appetite changes, focus protests, distractions it once tolerated. Your patience thins with cycles you used to justify. Your spirit is rejecting diets of noise, gossip, clutter, overcommitment. This is detox. The new place cannot be carried in a body and schedule built to sustain the old place. 6. Timing becomes a messenger. Messages arrive at the precise hour you ask. Names you wrote in a quiet journal appear on your screen. Opportunities labeled impossible last quarter reappear unexpectedly. You think the phrase, then see the headline. These are not coincidences, these are confirmations. I am choreographing what you could not coordinate. 7. Your prayer language shifts without permission. You stop pleading, fix this here, and you start saying, send me, before your mind votes. Your requests bend toward movement, alignment, and courage. You catch yourself releasing blessing over the place you're leaving and asking for favor in a land you have not seen. Your mouth is prophesying your feet. When 4 or more converge, stop debating yourself. Let heaven record your agreement. The pattern is present. The path is open. Do not demand a perfect map. I give you a lamp for the next step, not a floodlight for 10 miles. Take the step you can see, and the next stone will appear under your weight. Type 999 as your completion code for this audit. Let it be written that you recognized the pattern. Then prepare to move with the light you have. I will meet you in motion. Now hear me clearly. The enemy's cleanest tactic against the obedient is not scandal. It is delay dressed as wisdom. It sounds like prudence and wears the language of, I'm just waiting, 1 more month, after the holidays, when the market settles, when I feel total peace. But I already gave you enough peace to move and enough light for the next step. This is not cautious strategy. It is spiritual sedation. Delay is a lullaby that rocks destiny to sleep while calling itself discernment. Understand the cost. Delay does not cancel destiny, but it charges you interest. Emotionally, it adds grief. Every day you stay where grace is thinning, your soul mourns a little more, and you start to confuse that ache with your personality. Spiritually, it drains faith. Hope leaks slowly until you call your cynicism maturity. You begin to normalize restriction, to explain away small rooms as humility, to call a shrinking horizon contentment. Practically, it bleeds opportunity. The lease you needed opens and closes. The hiring window posts and fills. The right person passes by while you are rehearsing pros and cons. Momentum, your ally, moves on to serve those who are already in motion. Your next place has its own timing. Now, hear me. Some doors open once because they require alignment, not negotiation. I am not bartering with you. I am synchronizing you. There are days where favor, capacity, and provision stand in the same hallway. That hallway does not live there forever. When the cloud moves, you cannot schedule it for a later date. If you insist on perfect safety before you step, you will watch others live the testimonies you were built to carry. Sober truth. You can survive anywhere, but you cannot thrive everywhere. You proved you can breathe through storms. You proved you can budget crumbs. You proved you can sing in prisons. I honor your survival, but I did not design you for survival, only for stewardship. Survival is emergency protocol. Stewardship is kingdom protocol. In trials, you survive. In blessings, you steward. If you choose survival when stewardship is required, you will rebuild the wilderness inside a promised land and call it home. Do not spiritualize hesitation. You have confirmations. You have peace enough for obedience. You have the checklist fulfilled. What you lack is not another sign. It is a decision. I am not asking for recklessness. I am asking for timely obedience. Move with the light you have and watch me meet you with what you could not manufacture. Aligned conversations, correctly sized provision, right place relationships that require courage but reward you with clean peace. I am protecting you from the tax of postponement. Projects that would take 3 months now taking 9. Money that would have stretched now straining. Energy that should be building now bleeding. Choose the hour I chose, and the yoke will fit. Miss it, and the same road remains, but the climb gets steeper. Let heaven record it. You are closing the page you have already read to the end. Do it now. Speak it out loud and anchor it in action. Type 999. If you are closing the old chapter, code of completion is active over your obedience. Seal it and step. I am in the timing, and I am in your feet. Now, hear me clearly. Do not bring old fear into new territory. I am moving you to a place that matches your new weight. If you carry the old version of you into the new place, you will rebuild the same cage in a different zip code. Purification is not punishment. It is protection. I am not stripping you. I am streamlining you. I am separating you from what would sabotage the very blessing you asked me to trust you with. There are 3 forbidden carryovers. Hear them and write them on your heart. First, old alliances. Some connections were mercies for a moment, but would be snares in the next chapter. Familiar spirits live in familiar places. Patterns of talk, jokes that shrink you, expectations that require your silence to keep the peace. There are people who loved you as long as you stayed small because your smallness made their insecurity feel safe. Your move will expose agendas that survived on your compliance. Do not demonize them, just discern them. Bless them, but take back the key. Access is stewardship. Not everyone who had a seat will have a say in this next room. Second, the old self-concept. Stop introducing yourself by your former battles. Do not take titles born in survival and wear them like permanent names. You are not the reliable fixer, the one who can carry everyone, the quiet one, the background one, the one who never asks for help. Those labels kept you predictable to others and unavailable to your destiny. What I say about you defines who you are. Worthiness was never the issue. Readiness is. I say you are chosen, you are redeemed, you are loved, you are mine. Carry that name forward and watch how doors recognize you. Third, the old coping habits. Numbing, overworking, and people-pleasing. Numbing dulled your pain, but it also muted my whispers. Overworking looked like loyalty, but it was fear in a productivity costume. People-pleasing felt like love, but it was negotiated self-betrayal. In the new place, these behaviors will drain the very favor I am releasing. Replace numbing with presence. Breathe, pray, journal, walk. Replace overworking with ordered excellence. Clear priorities, protected rest, weekly review. Replace people-pleasing with principled kindness. Yes when assigned, no when it's theft. Now hear me. Your boundaries must upgrade with your blessing. You will speak up. You will say no. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Time has boundaries. Money has boundaries. Energy has boundaries. Access has boundaries. Your peace is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Guard it fiercely. Those who love your calling will respect your limits. Those who loved your labor but not your life will call your alignment attitude. Do not argue. Alignment is your answer. Here is your discernment test as you pack. Who celebrates your growth and who negotiates your obedience? When you say, God is moving me, do they bless and resource you, or do they bargain you back into their convenience? Celebration is a green light. Negotiation is a yellow light. Slow down, remeasure access, and if needed, reroute the relationship for everyone's safety. Let heaven record it. Lock this clarity into your future. Type 111 to commit to staying connected to what I'm saying. So you don't talk yourself out of it later. Do it now as covenant, not habit. This is your agreement to keep your spirit tuned when old patterns try to call you home. Leave with honor, arrive with order, and travel light. Release alliances that require your silence. Retire labels that shrink your assignment. Replace coping with communion and clear practice. I am not sending the costume. I am sending the crowned one. Step clean. I will meet you where boundaries make room for blessing. Now hear me clearly. Arrival is not achievement. Arrival is assignment. The door open to prove your readiness, not to end your responsibility. In trials, you survive. In blessings, you steward. Survival is crisis reflex. Stewardship is covenant rhythm. If you treat favor like a finish line, you will squander what you prayed for. If you treat favor like a field, you will harvest for years. I am not only giving you place, I am giving you patterns. Govern what I am granting. Your first infrastructure is peace. Your peace is not a luxury. It is your protection. Peace stabilizes discernment, stretches time, and keeps your hearing clean. Guard sleep like a sanctuary. Same bedtime, same waking window, a closing ritual that returns your nervous system to me. Guard prayer like oxygen, morning altar, midday reset, evening exam. Guard quiet like a treasury. No screen first hour, no noise walks. One day each week with margin large enough for your soul to breathe. When your calendar is loud, your spirit must be louder. Peace is the wall that keeps urgency out and wisdom in. Money next. Money is a tool, not a trophy. Tools belong in order. Build a budget for stability, not appearances. After seasons of scarcity, the flesh craves revenge spending. Resist it. Do not buy to announce you arrived. Invest to ensure you can stay. Assign every dollar a job, essentials, savings, taxes, generosity, and growth. Automate what builds, delay what merely brags, track what leaks. Beware lifestyle inflation that outruns wisdom. Pay yourself in rest and margin before you pay the crowd in optics. Remember, I am not testing if you can make money. I am trusting you to manage meaning. When I increase you, widen your giving and deepen your reserves. Seed with intention, save with foresight. Discipline your schedule or expansion will discipline you. Your calendar is a covenant with your calling. Block focused work, then protect it. Schedule meetings in clusters, not chaos. Build recovery into your rhythm. Micro breaks daily, a Sabbath weekly, a deeper reset monthly. Name 3 priorities each day. Finish them before you answer everyone else's emergencies. Set reply windows for messages and emails. Your availability is not your virtue. Put boundaries on travel, events, and quick favors. Excellence requires repetition. Repetition requires routine. Excellence without rest is ego. Excellence with rest is governance. Now, the humility warning. Favor attracts attention. Attention tempts performance. Performance burns out the chosen. Do not trade authority for applause. Keep a room where no one recognizes you and serve there with no credit. Keep mentors who can correct you without losing access. Deflect flattery with gratitude and truth. Glory to God, team effort, ongoing process. Practice confession and course correction quickly. Arrogance will close doors I opened. Humility will keep them open. When the crowd swells, lower your center of gravity, knees to floor, ears to my voice. Hear this also. You have been escorted through warfare. Now you must walk wisely through favor. In war, the enemy attacks your hope. In favor, he targets your pace. He will bait you with overextension, entitlement, and distraction disguised as opportunity. Ask this of every invitation. Is it assignment or applause? Is it aligned or merely adjacent? If it costs your peace, robs your prayer, or empties your kindness at home, it is too expensive, no matter the price tag it offers you. Let heaven record it. You will maintain what I am multiplying with peace, order, and humility. Type 333 as your stewardship covenant, 3 strands, peace, discipline, and humility, braided to hold your blessing. Do it now. Govern with grace, move with wisdom, and I will keep adding without tipping you over. Now hear me clearly. Revelation without movement becomes entertainment. I did not speak to give you goosebumps. I spoke to give you marching orders. Obedience is your receipt. If you want heaven to back what you heard, convert it to action inside a defined window. I am placing a 72-hour seal over this instruction. When you move, the ground will answer you. When you wait for perfect clarity, you train your soul to need permission from fear. Your faith is not a feeling. It is a step. Step 1. Write the restriction list. Get paper. Title it, What This Place Can No Longer Hold. Do not romanticize what has been outgrown. Name in 4 lanes where the current container fails you now. Mentally, recurring stagnation, shrinking creativity, cycles of second-guessing, constant reactivity. Financially, capped income, delayed invoices, cost of living strain, no margin to save or seed. Relationally, rooms that require self-betrayal, alliances that punish boundaries, networks that do not stretch you, expectations that silence you. Spiritually, thin worship, crowded prayer, persistent compromise, environments that tolerate gifts but resist growth. Do not write to vent, write to measure. When you see the list, confusion loses power. You are not being dramatic. You are documenting capacity. Let heaven record it. This is your evidence for why staying has become disobedience. Step 2. Create the new place criteria. 3 non-negotiables only: peace, purpose, and provision. For peace, what must be true daily for your soul to stay steady: quiet hours, access to nature, a healthy church/home rhythm, a commute that does not steal prayer. For purpose, what must the new environment demand of your gifts? Clear scope aligned to assignment, leadership that honors truth, a culture that rewards integrity and learning. For provision, what baseline income, margin, and cost structure protect mission and generosity? Set a minimum, not a fantasy. Add savings and tax reality. Refuse predatory optics. Stop shopping by fear and scarcity. Do not design by trauma. Design by calling. 3 criteria become your compass. If it doesn't meet them, it is not your door. Step 3. Take 1 visible move within 72 hours. Not a thought, a step. Research a neighborhood. Schedule a site visit. Submit an application. Update your resume and portfolio. Request the meeting. Call the realtor. Speak to HR. Get pre-approval. Gather documents. Transfer seed to a designated move fund. Price shipping. Set a lease end date. Inform the mentor who will hold you accountable. Something measurable that a stranger could verify happened. Movement is your multiplier. I part seas after the foot moves, not before. The Jordan opened when the priests stepped, not when they stared. I honor momentum. When you place weight on the next stone, I reveal the one after it. Small does not mean shallow. Small means start. Set the clock. Put it on your calendar. Message the one who will ask you if you did it. Then anchor this moment in your mouth. Type, I receive it, if you will take one visible step within 72 hours. Let heaven record your agreement. Do it now. Faith without movement is just a wish. Obedience is your receipt. I am in your timing, and I will meet you in your step. Now hear me clearly. Let heaven record it. What I say about you defines who you are. You are not drifting. You are not indecisive. You are not lost. You are being led. Your restlessness is not a problem. It is proof that I have my hand on your shoulder and my address on your next step. I am not abandoning you to options. I am aligning you to assignment. I go before you. I make crooked places straight. I level the unseen turns before your feet arrive. I have already walked tomorrow. Receive this seal. You are chosen. You are refined. You are protected. You are prepared. You are authorized. You are appointed. You are supplied. You are sent. You are mine. I am stamping these names upon your mind, so fear cannot rename you. I sanctify your yes. I sanctify your timeline. I sanctify your leaving and your landing. You will not be punished for obedience. You will be preserved by it. Hear the difference. Leaving is not betrayal. Leaving is alignment. Love does not require you to remain where grace has lifted. Honor does not demand you to shrink so others stay comfortable. My cloud moves and you move with it. I will go before you into rooms you have not seen, and I will be your rear guard as you exit rooms you have outgrown. Doors that matter will recognize you when you arrive carrying the name I just sealed upon you. Do not delay. Your next 90 days begin when your obedience begins, not when your feelings settle, not when every line is highlighted in the manual you wish you had. When you step, cycles break. When you step, provision synchronizes. When you step, the map unfolds one faithful square at a time. I will meet you in motion the same way I kept you in the fire, wholly, steadily, unmistakably. Now anchor this covenant in community. Subscribe now as your agreement to stay under instruction. This is not a routine click. It is a tether to timely word. Then go to the pinned comment for the next instructions reserved for those who refuse to go back. The inner circle I am gathering for protected guidance, prayer covering, and pace. Stay connected so your courage is not isolated and your steps are witnessed. Type I am led as your seal if you receive this identity. Let heaven record it. I am proud of how you endured, but I am not leaving you in endurance. I am planting you in increase with order. Lift your head, square your shoulders, breathe. I am with you in the hallway and in the next room. Now stand up, because you are not staying where you survived. You are going where you will build.